You tell a story. He does too. Can he one up you? Well, that's up to you. Tell your best tale, and you never know. You could be a winner on the One Upper Show.
Okay, and welcome back to the One Upper Show. I'm your host, Ted Blazak, and today we're coming to you from downtown Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. It's a beautiful day. A lot of people walking by this Memorial Day weekend, 2023, and you're Ashton, right?
Yeah.
Ashton. Well, thank you for coming onto the show and being a guest.
Yeah.
So the way this show works is you tell us a story from your life. I listen to it and I try to one up you with a similar story. And if I can't, you win a t-shirt.
All right.
So you got a story on you ready?
I actually do. It was from when I was working here at Iron Horse.
Oh yeah, you worked here at Iron Horse. I forgot to say that. We're at the Iron Horse Bar and Grill. A shout out to you in downtown Coeur d'Alene. Thanks for letting us set up here.
Yeah.
So you worked here, right here at the Iron
Yeah,
Horse?
I technically still work here. I am a server and a busser.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I know that job real well.
Yeah. Last year when I was bussing, there was a lot of fights and stuff at this bar.
Really?
And there was this one fight. It was a pretty good fight. They got some pretty good hits in, but the hostess here was like, Kelso, go grab a pull stick. And I'm like, grab a pull stick for what? And they were like, so you can shove it up to you know what? And I was like, whoa. It was kind of hectic. Then when it finally stopped, we got all those two guys out of the bar.
Yeah.
They beefed it outside of the bar.
Yeah.
And cops were called. They were both arrested. It was oof.
So okay. So let me back up. You're a young man. You're 17, 18?
18.
18. You're working at the Iron Horse Bar and Grill, where we're recording from today.
Yep.
And you're just doing your job. You're
Yeah.
just bussing tables.
Mhm.
And some two outrageous dudes start getting a big fisticuffs. They're just juking it all out, right?
Yeah.
And so your boss says, I need you to take a pool cue stick and break up this fight and hit someone, basically.
Pretty much.
That's a weird job request, man. That's really, and were you alive? You smaller than these guys that were fighting?
Oh, way smaller. These guys are like 6 foot. I was sitting there at what 5'7" at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
So were you scared?
No, I wasn't scared. It was just, how am I gonna do this with 6 foot tall? I'm like a midget to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you hit him with the pool stick?
No, I did not.
What did you do?
I gave them an option. It's either I take the pull cue, shove it up their asses, or they leave.
So you actually, whoa, let me dial this back.
And they
Somebody's
left.
got some big kahunas here. So you went up to two guys that were in the middle of a big fight
hmm
and you're a lot smaller than they are.
Yeah.
And you take a pool stick and you say, I'm going to shove this up your ass if you don't get the hell out of my bar.
Yeah.
And
Pretty
they
much.
left?
Yeah.
Dude, how did you have that in you? That's impressive.
I didn't know. I just said that stuff.
Yeah. There was no way you were going to pull that off.
Yeah. I gave them options, and they chose the good option and walked away.
So they both walked away?
Yeah.
That's,
They took it outside at least.
oh, okay. Well, listen, I gotta give you huge points for being so brave, man. And negative points to your boss for asking you. It's pretty crazy. Wow. Okay. So now's the part of the show where we come in to see if I can tell you a story from my life and I can one up you. Man, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of you're brave. My story's really similar. We might have a tie, or we'll figure this out here. But I was a bartender at a really seedy bar in Portland, Oregon, called the Matador, and my shift was Sunday 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And at 7 a.m., when I was just setting up the till, just before I opened up the door. There were guys banging on that door. Come on, man, let me in, let me in. Because my early customers would be these drunks who had been out all night long, and then I had pimps who came in. They brought their ladies with them at the end of the night, and that was my 7 to 9 a.m. rush. And yeah, I mean, this bar was a real dive bar, and I would. And on Sundays were the worst. And there were these guys who would come in that were like homeless. They would beg by the street corners, and they come in and they buy $1.85 Pabst pitcher, and they pay for it in nickels and quarters. And yeah, and my shift would be 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And in those hours, I usually averaged about $10 in tips for the whole day. It was that bad. It was really bad. So anyway, my boss yelled at me because it was fine to let the homeless in because he wanted their money. He wanted to sell them the Hams beer. But he was mad because sometimes guys got in and I missed it and they smell too bad. And they would stink up the booze. But anyway, every Sunday there would be a fight, 2 or 3 fights. And I would always have to throw a guy out of the bar. And I learned really quickly that when people are drunk, they have no sense of balance at all. So there was this one mean old homeless guy who was like 6'7", and he was big and he was young, and he would just beat up on all the other homeless guys and try to force them to buy beers. So he's in the bar and he's starting to push around the homeless guys, and I'm just like, forget this. I had enough of this. So I go over to this guy. I mean, this guy's towering over me, right? Really big. And I'm just like, and I literally reached up and grabbed him by the back of his shirt. Like my hand's like this, my other hand's like this, holding his pants, and I'm just steering him out the door, and I just shove him out on the sidewalk. And then all these other homeless guys broke out into applause. But so that was a bad bar. At night, it turned into a punk rock bar. But so it was cool at night, and like the bartender would relieve me, Stacia. She would make like $300 a shift in tips. But I had really crappy shifts. And but it was, I didn't mind. It was a real fun kind of experience. So all right, so I was less brave, but I had more bar fights than you.
Yeah.
But you're really brave, man. That was really hats off to you. So I'll tell you what. I'm gonna kind of call this a draw, but I'm going to give you a T-shirt because your bravery certainly earned it. Okay. So congratulations, Ashton, for winning on the One Upper Show. Yeah. And if you and Ashton, is that right? Did I say that? All right. So if you can top Ashton's story or my story, if you toss somebody out of the bar somewhere somehow, then you send us your story. Come to a webpage at theoneuppershow.com or email us at the oneupper.show@gmail.com. And you can listen to us on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, and soon we're coming to other venues as well. So thank you very much for listening to the One Upper Show, and keep having good stories, and we're looking to hear them. Thank you very much. All right. Good job, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The One Upper Show is brought to you by Trailblazing Canvassers and the Burning Sage Productions.